Okay, now we're gonna fold our ties. I'm gonna show you that with the ones that I made from 2 fat quarters. If you made one from a whole length of fabric or a jelly roll, you won't have this first part, but you will do the rest. So the first part, if I put 2 pieces together, I want to butterfly the seam open, and butterfly means pressing the seam allowances out to both sides like a butterfly opens its wings. So I'm gonna do that on both pieces.
To just flatten it as much as possible.
Yes.
Right.
And then we're gonna go to our 2 edges and we're gonna fold just the selvage up on all 4 short edges. I have my iron on a cotton setting, which is, well, I have it on linen setting, which is a little higher than cotton, but I usually press with the hottest setting possible. And so I've folded selvages up on all 4 short ends. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and we're gonna fold the long way in half. You want the right side of the fabric on the outside, or the right side of the fabric is the pretty printed side. So we're gonna go through here and you just make those 2 ends meet up. You can do this on your ironing board. I am demonstrating on a wool mat because it's easier to film this way. You do not have to have a wool mat. An ironing board will just work fine. So it's folded in half the whole width, or the whole length. I call it hot dog style. You're gonna do that for both ties. I am actually gonna move on to the next part. So do that for your second tie. Then you actually start over at the beginning and you open this up and you fold the inside to that middle line. And press. And it's okay to go slow because you want this crease to hold as you sew. Gonna do this the whole length of it. And then the last thing you do is you fold it back in half again. So you've taken a 2-inch strip down to a 1/2-inch strip with everything folded inside. If your ends are a little bit bulky, you can actually unfold them. And it's hard to see the pressing here, but there is basically a grid line here. You're gonna cut diagonal on those corners. And that just reduces the amount of fabric that's in that seam so that when you fold it over, it's a lot less bulky. With this final pressing, you want to use steam, or if you have hard water, I actually don't fill up my iron with water. I use a spray bottle, spritz it, and then what that steam does is it gives it a nice, good, solid pressing. We will go through and sew this, but it's nice to have it held into place by just folding alone and not have to pin it. You hear that little sizzle? That's your fabric getting steamed. Once again, I'm gonna cut the little and you're gonna do this to both ties, and then you're gonna set them aside for a minute. We're actually gonna start on the front part of the mask first.